Okay, I think we're going to be live in like 10 seconds.
Okay, sure.
Okay, and there we are. We are live. Hi, everyone.
Hello,
live at
everyone.
5, Tuesday at 5 p.m. We are here always. Those of you that are joining us, it is great to see you. As you can see, we have a very special guest tonight. She was with us 2 weeks ago and is back this time and is going to be talking about stress relief. So if you have ever been stressed, you should watch this. And I know that all of y'all have been stressed at some point. Everybody has. So I really hope you guys tune in and enjoy it. I know I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to hop on, but as always, once you're here, hop in the chat and let me know. There's Glenda. Hey, Glenda. Make sure my chat's working too. Hi, Sunny and James. We've got 3 with us now. Yeah, sorry, Glenda. I actually sent you the link before we were live, so that was my bad. That was not your fault. I sent it too early, so when you hopped on here, we probably were not live yet. We got 4 people. Hi, everyone. Happy Live at 5. Happy Tuesday. I have a big announcement for us whenever I'm gonna wait till a few more of us are on. I think we're gonna have like 5 or 6 more. Hey Sierra, so once we kind of get everyone here, I'm gonna make a very, very important announcement. So you guys stay tuned. But if you're here, hello, and check in as usual with what's going on with you, how you're doing, things like that, pretty much anything. All right, we've got a few more hopping on. That's good. Okay, someone says they've had a really great day today. I love that. Always like to hear whenever the days are great. My day was good too. I got to go over to our new building next door, and I got to see what my new desk is going to look like, which is really exciting. I got to pick out my spot. and I got to find out who's going to be sitting next to me. So it kind of, I don't know, it kind of felt like first day of school, kind of. I remember in elementary school, on the first day of school, I'd always like go look at where I was sitting and who I was sitting by. So it kind of felt like that again. But I'm doing good. And that is a good segue into my big announcement. I will probably make this again at the end of the night when we have probably some more people. But hopefully all of you know that at this point, you guys know that, hi Shay, that we are opening up our brand new building. It's actually happening. You're going to be able to see it. For me, this has been like 3 years coming. So this is still so crazy, but we're having a huge event on Friday this week. And all of our youth are invited. We want as many people to be there as are comfortable going. We at Immerse, a lot of us are vaccinated, still wearing masks, still social distancing, but we want to let you guys come in and see this new center. That's going to be from 12 to 2 this Friday, okay? We are going to try to provide transportation. Again, if there is like 40 of you guys that want to show up, which personally, I hope that's the case. That would be amazing. But we can't give a ride. We can't give rides to 40 people. So if you are wanting to come and you are wanting a ride, you need to get with your coach or with me like as soon as possible. Put in the chat if you want to go and if you need a ride. So that's my big announcement. Also noticing that I'm sitting by this window and like this entire side of my face is just like white. So that is pretty ridiculous. So I'm sorry, I might close the window. It's bothering me. But yes, that is all that I've got as far as announcements. Okay, Shay, we'll miss you. Shay won't be able to come, but you'll be able to see the center another time. That's important. But yeah, so that is all for me. Miss Eleanor, I will turn it over to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be back with you guys again. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about stress. Usually I give a workshop. I started my workshop about in 2019. I did my first stress relief workshop. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how that goes. And then I'm going to get into some of the things I talk about during my stress relief workshop. When I conduct it in a live setting, I usually have like other entities come in and they usually speak on their perception of how stress affects them. I may even have someone come in and talk about domestic violence, substance use disorders, how sometimes stress can lead to us coping in different ways and turning to drugs and alcohol and other things that are not good for us. I may even have the health department come out and, do some stress tests and things of that nature. So I need you guys to be real patient with me today because this is my first time ever presenting anything on stress on video, so virtual. So I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of background on why I do what I do with stress. Stress, to me, kind of correlates with my past with addiction. It was like a way of me covering up my stress. I was holding a lot of things in. And my coping skill when I was highly stressed was to turn to drugs and alcohol. So I came up with this perception to help people learn how to deal with stress. But I'm going to go back a little bit because when we think about stress, stress is not always a bad thing. Okay, you have good stress and you have bad stress. But what I have noticed that sometimes we don't know how to decipher the two. Okay, so we're going to start off by talking about the bad stress. Okay, and in bad stress, there's 3 levels of stress, which is acute. And acute is kind of that stress that we have every day. It's like the more occurring one. I'm going to kind of look at my notes. So if you see me looking away, I'm looking at my notes here. So acute stress is the most common form of stress. It comes from the demands and pressure of like everyday life. Just maybe you have a lot on your plate with taking care of your kids. Like me, I take care of my 92-year-old dad. I have my nephew for the summer. I have my husband. I have 2 dogs. I'm in school. I'm studying for my state board, so sometimes it's just something that happens every day. And it's kind of like equilibrium is kind of like the monotone that you can deal with it. It's a lot, not too overwhelming, but you might want to handle it by getting a massage, just talking to someone who's close to you. Remember never to keep things in. And that's it. When you start to keep things in, and that's when it builds. And then we have a second stress called episodic stress, which is a little bit more detrimental than just acute stress. This is when you start to get into a phase where you're taking on too many things and it's getting a little bit overwhelming for you. You tend to maybe feel tense a lot. You may be snappy a little bit. You may kind of start forgetting to do some tasks because you have so much on your plate. So you want to be careful with the episodic stress. And then the third stress in the negative is the acute stress. Acute stress can lead into physical responses, okay? And a lot of times we get acute stress from things such as a death in the family, loss of loved ones, relationship problems, marriage problems, financial burdens, losing a job, things of that nature. And it could lead to physical manifestations, anxiety, irritability, liver, organ functions. It can even lead to organ functions. So we want to be careful if we start to get past that acute stress. I'm going to tell you a little bit what I learned today in my research. I always knew there was good stress. However, I didn't know the terminology for it. And it's actually called intresis. Eutresis. I'm going to spell it EUSTRESS. Eustress. Am I saying that correct? EUTRESSES. Anyhow, that is the positive. That is a good stress. And you get that feeling when you've studied all night for a test, like I'm always doing. And you study for weeks. I'm just going to say this. And you're anticipating this test. And it seems to be overwhelming. You take the test and you pass. So that's a form of good stress. Or, for instance, if you're having a lot of fun and you're on a roller coaster and you feel that adrenaline rush, that's a good stress. People don't realize that, but it's a such thing of good. It's good stress, but we have to be able to decipher the two. Okay. So what I want to talk about a little bit is how do we cope with stress? Our biological, physiological responses to stress. Many people don't know that sometimes we respond to stress according to our environment and the way we were taught. So it could be genetics, the reason why you react a certain way, okay? And your personality plays a part in how you react to stress. Life experiences, difficult, like if you have problems dealing with problems or experiencing childhood trauma or abuse, it can take you to a vulnerability stage where you don't really know how to deal and you just check out, okay? And the length and the severity of the stressors has an effect on the way we deal with the way we receive stress, okay? When stressors are more intense, it lasts for a longer period of time, and we're more likely to use ineffective coping skills like substances, drugs, and alcohol, for instance, okay? So some people don't even realize that they're experiencing stress. So I'm going to tell you some of the signs to know when you're getting to chronic stress levels. You have anxiety, feelings of sadness, overwhelmed, or irritability. You sleep a lot. You may sleep more than usual. And you procrastinate. You neglect your responsibilities, have difficulty concentrating. You may not eat like you should. You have stomach problems. You're very tense a lot. It can also cause diarrhea or constipation. You lose and you gain weight, okay? Now, and adding on to that, I want to talk a little bit to the older people. A lot of children experience stress too. So let's not take their worries lightly because they have trouble in school. Some of them have trouble when they're having problems learning certain. I'm sorry about the phone back there. When they're having trouble in certain areas or subjects at school, when they're being teased or they're being bullied, life transitions, when you are possibly in a foster care setting and going into new homes and things like that. So kids experience just as much stress as adults. So we want to be mindful of that. Okay, you guys? So let's not take it lightly. And the thing is, I'm going to always go back to this. We want to utilize all of our resources, and we want to reach out and we want to talk. We don't want to keep anything bottled up because that's when it starts to elevate and it becomes acute for us. Okay? So I'm going to read a little bit about how it can affect our health. It can weaken your immune system, cardiovascular disease it causes, diabetes, sexual and reproductive problems, depression. Okay, so we want to be careful because it can manifest into a physical ailment for us. How we're going to manage stress. First of all, with anything I do, I try to tell people as being a life coach to set goals. But we want to set attainable goals, okay? So if you have these stresses, we're going to start with the acute stress. For me, taking care of everyone, as many people as I do, is so stressful. Sometimes I wonder, do my friends even realize how much I have on my plate? However, it's just enough. We got to learn how to tell people no, okay? That's what we're going to learn how to do. And you know, if you feel like you need to explain yourself, then that's okay. But sometimes it's just too much energy to tell everybody what you have going on. It really is. So you set your boundaries. Think about what you're gonna say before you just say yes. I had to learn how to do that. I had to learn how to say, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Or my favorite line is, can I get back with you on that? You know, instead of giving a response right away, because we don't want to overwhelm ourselves. So some of the things that I'm doing right now, it seems overwhelming, but I love every bit of it. So in a way, it's not bad stress, it's good stress. When everybody's happy and everything is going well, then that makes me happy. So that's where my acute level is. Now, I've been overwhelmed. It has went to the episodic stage for me. In that stage, I knew I was stressing because I couldn't sleep. My mind was racing. I wasn't setting limits on things I was doing. I was overloading my plate. Okay. I wasn't eating right. I wasn't being physically active. I was gaining weight in the wrong areas. Okay. And I wasn't relaxing. Never had time for myself. Self-care is very important. Okay. We want to make sure we're making time for ourselves. I didn't talk to the right people. Sometimes we talk to the wrong people and they're not capable of giving us the advice that we need. There's never nothing wrong with talking to a therapist, a counselor, utilizing those resources, because I'm gonna tell you something about professionals. They have an oath to keep everything in. So be careful who you talk to, but you want to go and get that person who can guide you in the right direction, okay? Don't try to deal with it in unhealthy ways. Don't turn to drugs. Don't turn to alcohol, overeating, gambling, all of those things some people turn to when they're very stressed. I did. And that's why I do what I do today. Okay. I talked about seeking help. And of course, the self-care. We want to talk about some things. Sometimes people think self-care can be expensive. And it's not. Self-care is just a point, taking an hour a day, maybe go sit on the beach. Buying you some of the tools. I bought me a massager. Massage yourself. You know, turn off your TV, turn off your phone. That's self-care, having a cup of tea, just inexpensive things, going to the beach, going to the park, making that time for yourself, doing your own massages, doing your own pedicures. It doesn't always cost a lot to take care of yourself. So we want to make sure we're doing a lot of that to keep our stress levels down. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about a little bit about, I have these pamphlets I'm going to hopefully be setting up. I have a lot of stuff on stress management. So if you guys want some of this information, just let Miss Casey know and I can try to get it to you. But I wanted to tell you a few solutions as well as self-care, avoid hassles, eliminate the minor irritations that can lead to chronic stress. If you know you have something to do, don't put it off. Just start a week early. Do a little bit at a time. That way, when your deadline comes, you're not stressed for time. Okay. Controlling the change. Sometimes we stress because of new environments. You guys probably are stressed over there because you got a new building. Like you said, you're anxious to see who you're going to be sitting next to, and you got a head start on that. Instead of just popping into a new environment, kind of ease your way into something new and go in with a positive attitude. Using self affirmations every day is a way that I cope. I wake up every morning, I look myself in the mirror and I tell myself, today's going to be a great day. I'm going to do everything I can in my ability to make it a great day. And it doesn't always go that way. Sometimes you meet that one person who just want to rub you the wrong way. I'm sure we all do. However, if you've already made it up in your mind that you're not going to let anything affect you and you're not going to let your stress levels increase, you'll be able to deal with it in a more effective way, that you won't overload yourself and get all stressed out about it. Okay. Taking breaks. Do things in time limits. If you're working on a project, don't sit for hours and hours on edge. Say, I'm going to work about an hour at the most, and I'm going to get up and I'm going to take a break. Okay. If you're the type of person who likes to get stuff done in the evening, know that about yourself. Okay. If you like to be up early in the morning getting projects taken care of, know that about yourself. That way you can not procrastinate on it, and everything will be set in a timely manner for you. And you're not overwhelmed and stressed out about getting things completed. Okay. Again, we talked about finding help. It's okay to let people know, the right people, and I'll use that all the time. The right people know that you may need a little help. You may need to talk to someone. Okay. And we want to be mindful of, again, who we're talking to and the type of advice we're taking in. Okay. And learn how to relax. Coping skills, again. We talked about coping skills. Some people run to drugs and alcohol. I always incorporate that because that's the only thing they know in order to deal with their stress. But we want to do some relaxation tools, deep breathing exercises. If you feel your stress level, or we call them SUD level, if you feel them increasing, you want to do some deep breathing exercises, okay? And I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this to you guys because I think it's very important. The most basic relaxation technique can be done anywhere, anytime. Sit and stand with your hands on your stomach. Inhale slowly through your nose, feeling the stomach expand, and then exhale slowly through pursed lips. And repeat this 3 or 4 times. If you feel your stress level rising, stress unit distress levels. I believe that's what that stands for. I should know that, but you can kind of tell when your levels are rising. It's from a 1 to a 10. When you feel like you're about at a 4, you want to start doing these deep breathing exercises. Do some stretches. Sometimes you feel your muscles tension. When you feel tension going through your body, stretch. You can do it in the chair. You can stand up and do it. I'm going to tell you a few more. You can get up and walk away. If you're in a situation and you feel it's getting heated and you're getting tense, you're getting stressed, get up and remove yourself from the situation, okay? Clear your mind. You want to make sure you are having positive thoughts and using positive affirmations in the morning. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and mentally focus on peaceful images is a good way also. Thoughts and words. After 10 to 5 minutes, you'll feel much better about yourself. I always use my affirmation and start them with, or I have my clients tell me five things, five positive things to describe who they are. Five positive things. And sometimes, that's very hard for people because they're not using positive things. But I tell you one thing, when you get those five things, know that they're going to help you to remember and to recite that. To regardless of whatever situation you are in, that you know that you are in control of only you and you can make that situation a better outcome. Okay. Okay. And it says one here, I've never heard of this one before. It says progressive muscle relaxations help you. So gear up. You've forgotten what it feels like to relax. Tighten and then relax each several muscle groups. So you take your time and you meditate on that one part of your body. Meditate on it and just relax your hands and do open and close with your hands. Then just do your arms, and it's gonna help you relax. It's gonna help you untense. We use that. I just never heard that terminology before. Keep a positive attitude. It helps you approach life and stress. As life is a challenge, it's going to bring on negative things. But creating a positive mindset is a great outcome, but it takes practice. Okay. One trick is to rehearse for a stressful situation. Go over the details and see yourself proceeding successfully. Yeah, we talk about that. It's called cognitive behavior therapy, changing the way that you think. Okay. Trauma focus is reliving the event over again. And sometimes it works for some people, sometimes it may not. So when you're getting into something like that, I would make sure that I'm with a professional at that time. Okay. But if it's just something like everyday stressful situations, like, I'm going to go sit next to this girl and I really don't like her, but I think I can get through this. Just talk your way through it and go what to do. Because you can do it if you have a positive mindset. Okay. And a positive style, which is exercising, having good nutrition, plenty of rest, plenty of water, vegetables, things like that. Helps you to feel good about yourself. And it reduces the risk of illness. Okay? Try to slow down, try to breathe, and enjoy your free time. That's self-care. We're going to make sure we implement that. Self-care is very important. And I didn't know how important it was until I went to grad school. And I never had time for myself, and I was overloading my plate, and I learned, the hard way that sometimes we have to be able just to say no. Okay, you guys, and it was short, it was quick. Well, okay, I'm gonna do one more thing that I thought was pretty cool. I'm gonna do a checklist. If you say yes to any of these, you might be having a little bit of stress. Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I wanted to let you know, though, that we've got some good conversation and questions happening in the chat. And we're looking about, like, we want to be finished up in the next 5-6 minutes. So would it be okay with you if we maybe talk through some of the things that are going on in the comments?
Okay, great. It's just a couple questions here, maybe about five. I mean, I'm just saying yes or no questions for them to think about, and then I'm done.
Okay, that sounds great.
Okay, so do you feel your muscles tensing often? If you do, that's a sign that you're stressed. Your heartbeat surpapulates, your blood pressure rises. If you do your hands become cold or clammy in certain situations, if you feel yourself getting headaches, these are definitely signs of stress, okay? If you feel a period of rest and renewed, okay, I'm sorry. So your stress cycle, do you feel a period of stress and renewed after you've been through a stress cycle? That means you have a cycle of stress, which is becoming episodic or chronic when you have cycles of it, okay? Does your body return to a relaxed or pre-stress state? When you're feeling like everything is okay for a while, then it's hitting again. That is getting towards acute, okay? And then, so with the positive stress, it says, if so, okay, it says with positive stress, Are you happy with the outcome? So that's maybe positive stress. And you're geared up and ready for the next event. That's positive stress. So we want to be mindful of those and just be aware of some of the changes in your body. Okay. And you guys can have the floor now.
Awesome. Thank you, Miss Eleanor. Sorry if I rushed you a little bit, but I always love to
No, you did.
involve our
You did.
youth, especially virtually. It can be kind of hard. So I definitely want to call out some of the things going on in the chat. A lot of really good stuff. Some people were talking about, their favorite ways to deal with stress. Some people are talking about kind of what's been stressing them out lately. Some really good suggestions for handling stress is getting sleep, praying, and meditating. All of those things are incredible.
Yes.
And we have someone saying, I feel like stress consumes my life because, for instance, I cut ties with someone, which is her setting boundaries. But then I get stressed because I feel bad for setting boundaries. And to people that are new to setting boundaries, which was me about 2 years ago, I resonate with that so much. I really do understand that. There are ways to keep your boundaries and also still really pursue and respect people and love them. Kind of depends on the situation. But I wanted to get more info. Hold on, I gotta go back and look. So I told her, yeah, there are ways to set boundaries, but also communicate with someone that you really love them and respect them. And so she had said, but what if you overstress about yourself, like if you're a perfectionist, but then overstandard yourself? So either way, stress consumes you. And so then she clarified, what if you're stressing because you are a perfectionist and others think you're doing great, but you're stressed out because you feel like you aren't doing it well enough? So you continue to stress. So kind of like caught in that cycle of stress. Miss Eleanor, are you able to speak to that a little bit?
Definitely. I never thought I was doing a good job in school. Everyone else thought I was great. Even at what I do today is stressful, even speaking to you guys. However, that it's okay to be a perfectionist. You might want to still talk to someone about that because it could be leading over into a disorder, and you want to make sure it's not, because it's okay if you want things perfect. That's okay. But if it's becoming compulsive, you want to impulsive, you want to make sure that's not a disorder. That's the only advice I can give you, because I was always saying I'm not good enough, or is this great enough, and the outcome would be A's and B's, and it would be that over and over and over again for me. I check my grades over and over again. Like, I'm on the computer, is my grades there? Are my grades there? Because I'm stressed and hoping that I did the best. So maybe it's just one of those things that it's a good stress because it keeps you motivating to do your best. It could possibly be that. But just make sure.
Yes, and so she's actually she's listening, and she says that she's been diagnosed with the disorder, so she's aware that's that's an official diagnosis.
Okay, so I work it on my state boards. I just went over some information pertaining to that, making sure the difference between OCD and it is another disorder that's similar, and that's what that sounds like to me.
Yeah.
So
well,
she would probably have medication management for that and therapy.
Yeah, and I know this girl, and I'm pretty sure she's in therapy, but I mean, I don't know. So, but that could help.
Yeah. Yes.
If you're listening, that could help a lot. And one other thing I wanted to point out, there was a point where you were talking about reaching out for help, and someone says there's a problem with that. When most people reach out for help, we always get judged for asking. That can definitely be I would describe that as complex, or not like complex stress, because you're stressed because you can't get a need met, but then it's also stress to ask for help with that need. So you're just kind of caught in the cycle, and it feels terrible. So I'm sorry that you're dealing with that. That's a hard place to be.
Yes.
So what I said was, I hope that you have people that you can reach out to that aren't going to judge you. I hope that Immerse is a place like that for you. My personal belief is that any places that help people, there shouldn't be judgment, period. Like, I just don't think that should be a thing. I don't think it's helpful. But unfortunately, people in this world are not perfect, and there's still a lot of places that say that they help people, but still kind of have that judgmental attitude, right? And I'm coming as someone who works in an organization that does help people, but individuals too. I mean, you might have family members that, judge you for reaching out. And that's really hard. For me, I know how I would deal with that personally. But I know that could be like different for you and how you're dealing with it. And again, I'm addressing the person who asked this question. I mean, the way that I would deal with that might be a little bit different than you would want to. For me, I would have to focus on what my goal is and keep that at the top priority, and then go from there. So like, okay, people judging me sucks. But again, I need help to reach my goal, and nothing's going to stand between me and my goal. So I will do it anyways. That's what works for me. That doesn't always work for everyone. That's just my personal opinion. But it kind of depends on, what works for you. But Miss Eleanor, did you want to speak to that a little bit too?
Yes, I definitely want to elaborate on that. And that's why I was emphasizing on be mindful of who you're sharing information with. And that goes with professionally. Definitely, my life wasn't always this way. If you guys heard my story 2 weeks ago, and I'm always being judged because of my past, even professionally, but if my story can help others, I don't tend to elaborate on the ones who are there to judge, because it's not for them. And everybody's not there that wants to help, actually to help. Some people are there for I just want to say it in a more professional way. They're there to maintain a lifestyle. So we want to be mindful of that. And sometimes you pick up on it right away, if that helps. I get it all the time. I come out and tell my story, and people say, well, I see other people doing it and they're making a profit off of it. It's not about that for me. It's about saving people's lives. So you just be mindful and don't open up right away. Kind of get the feel of the person who you're seeking the help from first. And you'll know if you emish. And that's, how I want to say. And it's okay to tell them, I think I'm going to keep looking, for other people, no matter if you feel that you don't have the resources. It's somebody there who you're going to mesh with. Definitely. Just keep looking.
Yes, I think that is so true. And I hope that helps to the person that asked about that. But that sucks. It sucks that people can ask for help and still get judged. Shouldn't be a thing, but people are in this world and they mess up, and it's terrible. But that's where we're at, unfortunately. Not to be a pessimist, but I think that's really good advice, Miss Fondren. So I think I will go ahead and wrap us up for now. Any closing remarks or anything, Miss Fondren?
I just want to say, make sure if you're getting to that acute level, you do continue you reach out. Don't get sick. And it's just been a pleasure. And I hope to come and talk with you guys again soon. And Miss Casey's there. I know she's a beautiful person. If you're going through a lot, please reach out to her. Please let her know. And I'm sure she'll help you with her resources as best she can. So it's been great. And
I appreciate that so much, Miss Fondren. We definitely want to have you in person, hanging out with us whenever we do resume, activities in person, which is hopefully going to be super soon. But yeah, super thankful for you, Miss Fondren. We're definitely going to have you back. To those of you that are watching, if you have questions about stress or managing stress, please reach out to me, and I'd be happy to connect you with Miss Fondren, because I know she'd love to talk with you too. But you guys be looking for her, because she's going to be coming to our center. I know at some point we're going to make it happen. So yeah.
All right.
But you guys stay safe. Thanks again, Miss Fondren, for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I have her books. So for those of you that were wanting to read her books, I have like 3 copies. So you guys hit me up if you want to read one of her books. I'm going to have those in the new center for you guys to be able to check out and read. But yeah, that's all I've got. And I hope to see most of you, if not all of you, Friday at our grand opening. And with that, I will close us out.